The Go 10.3 has been my main recommendation. I've called it the best e-ink tablet for some time now, for very good reason. It's an incredibly versatile e-ink tablet. But the Supernote Manta, the A5X2, has taken its place at the top of my list of recommendations. However, it is not the best value for money. And that may make the choice for many of you. If you're thinking that you really want the Supernote Manta, well, you can get most of that experience on the Go 10.3 and a lot more. But then these are the things, right? So can't justify paying almost double for a device, which is an alternative to Boox Go 10.3 with less features. It doesn't make sense. And that's what I mean when I say in my first look video just the other day that this is the kind of elephant in the room for it, the Go 10.3, which is $380. And really to get one, okay, fine, you can get this for $459, okay? That's your sort of actual price of the device. And certainly if you have an EMR pen, you know, people will say, why do they give you the option of buying it without a marker when they say that it's essential for handwriting to buy a marker? Well, because maybe you're already in the Supernote ecosystem and you've already got the great Heart of Metal pens or something. Or you could, of course, buy any other third-party pen and you could use that on there. Okay, you don't have to buy the half folio, but I would certainly recommend it. So the half folio is another sort of $50 on top. So you're really getting to, by the time you bought this and this pen, you're ending up in the kind of $610, right? So actually that's the price to get a case and a pen, whereas this $380 with a case and with a pen, nowhere near as premium a pen. Okay, and you can buy the cheaper pen and get it slightly less than that. It's just no comparison really. Nowhere near as premium a writing feel, but definitely not a bad writing feel. And certainly a better use of apps, being able to install them from the Google Play Store, being able to sign into work accounts as well as your own account, having all the e-ink options as well. There's a lot more to say about this, and this is going to be the question for us over the next few videos, next few weeks and months. I think in terms of what is going to be at the top of that tree, you know, can I really say buy the Go 10.3 right now, which is available right now, which will be at your door in a few days, or should you actually pre-order and you don't know when you'll get it? One of these. That is a very, very good question. Now, the reason why I am so thrilled with the Supernote Manta is because I just love writing on it. I find myself quite addicted really to writing on it. And I think that's very good for you as a thinking person. I also love drawing on it, and I'll talk about that in this little section here as well. There is just something about this as a place for putting your thoughts down or for making your sketches. I can tell you that for most people, the core use case of an e-ink tablet is note-taking and reading. Writing is a kind of close third, and I would personally say that for note-taking and writing, the Manta does beat the Go 10.3. But for reading, I would say Boox tablets are actually slightly better. They just have a few more features within their built-in reading app. But one person says, should we just give you a score out of 10 for the handwriting feel? Okay, well then, so for writing feel, then the score out of 10 here is going to be, this one is like, I mean, it's hard not to give it. For e-ink tablets, it's like, it's a 10 out of 10. Compared to other e-ink tablets, it's a 10 out of 10. If I want to compare it to like buying a Moleskine, okay, maybe I should. Maybe that's it. So buying like the nicest pen you can buy and a Moleskine is an 8 out of 10 writing feel, okay? So this is for feel. But the actual process of writing is different, isn't it? So let's go and do the same over here in the Notes app. Just add to the end of this one. And you can see here, like this is, again, it's not as nice looking as my handwriting is across here. This one is, you know, maybe a 6 out of 10, right? And this is the pen that I normally use, and I normally use it about here on a 2, I think, do I? Yeah, normal pen. Yeah, that's sort of what I normally use. I'd say, yeah, about a 6 out of 10, right? So it is not as good. And the remark will be about maybe a 7 in between, right? But actually writing on here, because I can use Google Docs and because I can use a keyboard, I can use a keyboard on here, but it's much nicer, then this one is more like a sort of 8 or 9 out of 10. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10, presuming that the Note Air 4C maybe would be the 9 out of 10. And the actual writing on here, okay, is actually maybe down at the 6 out of 10. And I think that's it, because writing is not just about the act of flowing the pen across the page, a lot better on the Supernote, but it's also about editing the thing as well. And the best thing that puts it above the competition would be, in my notebooks, the ability to use the structure it with the headings, things like the star marks, on the page. And my wife uses the A5X2 in her use case. She's got a notebook for every single part, every single meeting that she goes to repeatedly, you know, every single sort of responsibility. She's got a notebook. From those notebooks, she makes to-dos. So you can make a to-do item by simply ringing it and putting it in here. And then it appears in your to-do list down here. You can put a date on it and you can tick it off when it's done. So that's basically her. She doesn't want to use apps. She doesn't need to use a keyboard. She just wants her notes like a notebook, but with this kind of digital thing where she can keep a task list, one task list for all of her different things. So we've got those. So yeah, the best thing is making those lists and having those sort of well thought out integrations and all these linkings. You can do that on the Boox. You can make now, oh, you can't on this one yet. On the newer Boox, the latest software, on the Note F4C, you can make a overview, what do they call it? An outline with headings in here. But everything is just many more presses. I mean, did you see how quickly that was to make that into a to-do item or to make it into a heading or to link out to something else? It's just so quick. And actually, I made this little document. I've had it for a day, so I made this document just in preparedness for this. And it was really quick to make my structure so I could go back and forwards to the start, or, you know, there I am back at the headings, and I could have links on this to any other page or other documents that I like. And then I can go back to those linked bits that I was working on just there. You know, it's just really, really quick, essentially. Boox can do a lot of those things because they've seen how valuable people find them on the Supernote, but they aren't done as elegantly. They aren't done as, you know, it's not as quick. There's more presses. It's like you get this funny menu. I mean, they've got this, is that even on the smart scribe function? Yeah, okay. That's quite a good little function, but now I've got a link and everything up there. But I mean, they're totally different menu. I've always got like more, there's always loads more things. It's just more crowded, less bespoke. It's more like it's there, so you can kind of say it's there, rather than it being something that you're just gonna always want to use. Let's not think about how to use it, let's add it. That makes the whole thing feel quite crowded. I mean, it's stuff like, yeah, great, they've given us this great solution for a really quick erase, but it's kind of like, if I do it on the writing, you'll see, if I miss just a couple of little marks, I don't exactly go over 2 little marks, then they're not deleted from my page, which is like, you know, that's a bit annoying, isn't it? So I have to go across them to delete them. As long as my stroke goes across it, I'll delete it entirely. So yeah, it's not as good as just a 2-finger and then swipe over. These are both small and nimble companies, and I find that really fascinating. They have 2 different but equally valid ways of developing, and they've both been incredibly large successes in this rather niche e-ink market. But hopefully this little chat should let you know which one you more closely align with, and therefore which one you want to invest your time and your money into. And it is an investment, because I can tell you, as someone who jumps around between different e-ink notebooks, it would be much better to stick with one and use that as your kind of second brain, your place for all your notes into the future in the long term. It seems like where Supernote invest their R&D into developing their current platform and making it more powerful for their users, Boox put their R&D budget into developing new hardwares. Now that's a model used by most of the larger companies. However, they are larger companies and so can develop both in parallel. Now, Boox improves their devices by making new ones. You develop one, you get it ready for release, and then you ship it. That's then out, and you get the feedback from your user base, and you put that straight into developing the next one. That is a really standard way to develop, not just in technology. When I'm developing drawing, what I'll do is I'll do lots of quick drawings, and then I'll spend my time on one longer one. I think they could learn a little bit from each other, really, and getting closer to a sort of 50-50 balance of where you're spending your R&D budget would be sensible, I believe. We could have easily had a Supernote in between the A5X and the A5X2. Well, this could be the A5X3 if you like, and they would have sold more. And right now they could release an A4 device which was just essentially exactly the same but scaled up as this, and it would sell really, really well. But then would it really be a Supernote if it wasn't bespoke and well thought through in the way that only they can do it, it seems. But it really is hard to ignore at a much lower price point. all of the features on the Boox Go 10.3. So don't sleep on either of these, but check out my full reviews and more comparisons of devices like these in the future. And if you have any more questions, then definitely jump on one of my live streams where you can ask those in person in real time, and I'll make those comparisons for you. And sketching on the Go 10.3, I've loved sketching on the Go 10.3. I almost wanted to swipe down there to go back to things. It's like, right, up from here, Android buttons, home, or recents, and then go to my notes, go to some sketches I've done on here. You know, I've really enjoyed sketching on here. And it does have pressure with tilt, but you can see here, look, oh, many strokes it's rendering. That's not too bad though. Does it do the super slow thing that the Note F4C was doing with the larger texture brushes? So it does have tilt, look, nice tilt thing. But yeah, look at that. And you can see now it's different thicknesses depending on the tilt. And there's also one that's got the same color. Oh, we see, real slow down there. Yeah, whereas the actual drawing over here, many strokes rendering, it just doesn't seem to have those kind of issues. And it's kind of, this is what we can do, and we're going to do it well. We're going to design a nice place for drawing for you. Is the Boox thinner? Yes, it is. Good question. Chewy, right? It is thinner, but it isn't thinner at the edge to begin with. It's not lighter. So that's, I think that's actually quite important. It is thinner. This is 4.6 millimeters thin. This is 3.6 at the edge, but then 6 millimeters in the middle, which is sort of like normal thickness, I would say. But this is exceptionally thin, the Go 10.3. So yeah, the Go 10.3 is thinner. It's really nice. And that's the thing about it, just to really wrap this kind of comparison up, that's the difficult thing about this, is that this Go 10.3 is really, really nice. In terms of it being perfect for these single uses, in terms of it being perfect for note-taking or perfect for drawing, it's not as close as the Supernote is. But for every single use case that you can do with it, that's hard to ignore how much more you can do with this. Sure, you can bring up OneNote. Okay, and actually, OneNote, if you just need to review your things, you need to access to your scripts or your access to your notes on here, you can do that, okay? That's an acceptable, I'm logged into OneNote, it's an acceptable thing to use, but certainly not for handwriting. Okay, maybe I just need to ring a couple of things. I'm reviewing something that's in OneNote, so I'm like, okay, underline this. But notice, having to do that full flash when it moves, you know, this is certainly not for handwriting. In OneNote, no, it's just not going to be a goer, is it, right? But over here on the Go 10.3, which is not even the best for using OneNote, it's hard to find OneNote because there's no color, and I'm used to looking for that purple. Go to a little space on here and just quickly try. Okay, lovely. So if you must use OneNote, maybe it's because you collaborate with somebody. Okay, and it does this is a sort of preview really, it's not the actual rendered thing, but at least it's in quickly and ready to go. If you must use OneNote, well, you'd be far better using it over here on the Go 10.3, and that is repeated throughout anything like even the Kindle is better on the Go 10.3, the Docs is better, Docs actually works on Go 10.3. You know, everything is just better, every third-party app is just better on the Go 10.3. Part of that is because of the Qualcomm chip compared to an ancient ROC chip over here. We've got 8 cores and just 4 down here. These are 8 2.4 gigahertz cores. These are 4 1.8 gigahertz cores. Yeah, it's just not even close. It doesn't tell me the nanometer size of this, the process on this for some reason. It's a difficult one. If you know you want the digest and you know you want the table of contents stuff, if you know you want handwriting, then you know you want a Supernote and you're willing to pay that for it. Also, the blooming magnet on here and the little clip thing, it's just not even the thing, is it? Yes, it is, yeah, the Reader app is certainly very good in Boox devices. And yeah, on Boox, of course, it's just that bit easier to grab articles from the web or any location that you might need to find them and be able to put them straight into your work. Pretty good. Who do you think comes out on top in this comparison? I'd love to hear your comments below, and if you've got experience of one or both of these devices, that's really useful for other people to read your experience as well, so they don't have to just take my word for it. if you've got yourself a Boox Go 10.3, you don't need to look at this and think, gosh, did I make a mistake? Because you've got an amazing e-ink tablet. You've got an absolutely wonderful e-ink tablet. So you do not need to think to yourself, gosh, I wish I could have waited for this. You guys and girls out there, love the one you're with. Like, yeah, sure, look out here, look at what's available, look at where the tech goes. It's a cool emerging space, you know, it's getting better all the time, of course. And, you know, to just upgrade when you think there's a real reason you're going to get a better experience, and there's going to be something that's going to really truly improve your work or your personal life. An e-ink tablet that's going to make actually a discernible bit of difference. Crispness with the Go 10.3, it's the Carter 1200, the Go 10.3, so it's still the same resolution, but isn't the same contrast, is basically the thing to remember there. Yeah, there's no microphone, for instance. There's loads of things you can do with the Go 10.3 you can't on this. Would I recommend it for uni students? Yes, I would, but probably not as much as the Boox, because then you've just got that easier access to your web portals and things like that. Certainly looking to save a bit of money, I think the Boox Go 10.3, and we're going to have an argument as to whether this actually takes the place of the Go 10.3 as the best, but the Boox is also the best deal at the minute, really. It's, for what it is, it's a great deal as well. Yeah, lots of people asking here what to expect in terms of a Word document. Definitely go with this lady, go with the Boox Go 10.3 or the Note F4C.